Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to use scales a bit more now that you actually know about them. So first, let's talk about when we have a ratio that's given to us with different units. All we need to do is convert them so they have the same unit, and we can just remove the unit. Now, there's just one rule when we do this, and it's that we don't like to have any decimals in our ratio. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I was given the ratio 1 centimeter to 1 meter. I want to convert them to have the same unit. So that means I can have them as either in meters and meters, or I can do centimeters and centimeters. Okay, and then I can just remove the unit when I'm done. So let's first convert them both to meters. I've started off with this side as 1 meter already, so that's just going to stay as 1. Now I need to convert 1 centimeter into meters. If you guys remember, we have 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Okay, this is general knowledge, to be honest. If you don't know it, try and memorize it. Now, how we get from centimeters to meters, okay, how I get from 100 to 1 is I divide by 100. So, I'm in centimeters right now. I need to get to meters. I'm going to divide by 100. That's going to get me to 0.1. Okay, so my ratio in meters is like this. So this is a valid ratio, but generally we don't like having decimals in ratios, so we're not going to use this one, okay? Let's try convert them both to centimeters. So the right hand side, I started off at 1 centimeter, so it just stays as 1 centimeter. The other side, I have 1 meter, and I need to convert it to centimeters. How do I get from meters to centimeters? I am going to times by 100, yeah? How I get from 1 to 100 is I times by 100. So that means I have 100 centimeters. Now this one, we've got no decimals. Our ratio, we can write it as 1 to 100. And I'm happy. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to work with a scale. Okay, so we can see scales sometimes when we're looking at, say, models. We're building like a model plane or a model boat. Or maybe when we're looking at maps. Okay, so something you might see on a scale is like 1 to 1,250. There's no units here. I can choose the unit as long as I keep it consistent. So I can say, for example, that this scale 1 to 1,250 means that for every 1 centimeter on my model, it's going to be 1,250 centimeters in real life. So I can also say that for every 1 meter on my map, it's 1,250 meters in real life. Okay, I pick the unit, and as long as it's consistent, it's fine. Right? Because we can pick the unit, you're just going to try pick whichever unit is going to work best for your question. So let's try a question together. Let's say I have a map with the ratio 1 to 11,000, and I've followed the map, and I know I need to travel for 2 centimeters on the map. Okay, so how far am I traveling in real life? So we're starting off with this ratio. It says that on my map we're measuring in centimeters, so I'm going to use centimeters as my unit. So for every 1 centimeter, I have 11,000 centimeters. Now, I don't particularly like having it in centimeters for this side because, well, it's a bulky number. I might get confused. I might drop a 0 somewhere. That's going to be a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the right-hand side to have meters instead of centimeters. I have 100 centimeters for every meter. How I get from centimeters to meters is I divide by 100. Sorry, that was meant to be an equal. So how I get from here to here, I divide by 100. So to get to meters, I'm going to divide this number by 100. Okay, so I've done that. I've got 110 meters. So for every 1 centimeter on my map, I'm traveling 110 meters in real life. Now I've measured out that I'm traveling 2 centimeters on the map, okay? So a way I can work this out is I now have this as a 2. And I think, how do I get from 1 to 2? I get there by timesing by 2. So I'm going to do the same to the other side. Okay, 110 times 2 is 210. So I have 210 meters. So this is how far I'm going to be going for every 2 centimeters on my map. Okay, I'm going 220 meters in real life. So that's how you read a scale. Right, one more thing to show is how we divide a ratio, how I divide an amount into a given ratio, okay? So sometimes we might need to divide something into a ratio, so they'll give you an amount. This example I'm using is, say I have to share $150 in the ratio of 6 to 9 in order to pay my employees correctly according to the hours they worked. So 150 is the total and the ratio is in 6 to 9. That means I have a total of 6 parts and 9 parts. So I'm going to add that together. 6 plus 9, that gives me 15 parts in total, okay? Now, I have to split up the 150 between 15. Whenever I'm splitting something, I'm going to be dividing. So I'll divide 150 by 15. That's going to give me 10, okay? Oops, sorry, that's a 0. Right, so that means for every 1 part, I have $10, okay? For 1 part, I have $10. Now, I need to split my $150 into 6 to 9, okay? So I start off, I have 6 parts on this side, 9 parts on the other, and every 1 part represents $10. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6 times $10 and 9 times $10. And that's going to give me $60 and compared to $90. A good way to check if I've split this up correctly is if I add these two numbers back up, I should get back to $150. Okay, so let's check that. 60 plus 90 equals to, does it equal 150? Yes, it does. That means I've split this up correctly. Okay, now let's try a different question. We're still going to be dividing an amount into a ratio technically, but it's a bit more problem solving. Okay, so let's say my boss splits the cost of my sale as 6 to 1 for my company and me. Okay, so my company gets 6 parts and I get 1 part. And I receive the smaller share, which is $30. How much does the company receive and how much was the total price of the sale? Okay, so the cost of the sale is split between the company and me. So the company gets 6 parts, so they get 6 for every 1 part I get, okay? This is me. And I receive the smaller share, which is $30. So that means I get $30. Okay? Now, this is already as 1, so that's really easy because that means that my 1 part equals to $30. Alright, so now I want to figure out how much the company receives. They receive 6 parts, okay? So how I figure that out is I'm going to do 6 times 30. And you can also look at it as, how do I get from 1 to 30? Well, I times by 30. And that means I would have to do the same on the other side. Okay, so 6 times 30, that would get me to $180. Company's making money. Boing. Alright, so they've got $180 here. Okay, so that's how much the company receives, $180. Now, how much was the price of the sale in total? Remember that this ratio was how the cost of the sale was split up, yeah, how the price was split up. So that means if I add these two numbers together, that's going to get me back to the total cost of the sale. Okay, so my sale, that was, let's add them, so 180 plus 30, my sale cost $210, yeah? So for the $210, I earned $30, and the company earned 180. Alright, yeah, that's how we use ratios. So try find some questions and good luck.